The memory of episode 4 still burned in Sophie's chest. She had smiled through breakfasts, kissed Mark on the cheek, and acted the role of the devoted wife, all while planting whispers in the town and laying the foundation of his undoing. Her secret weapon was patience, but patience always breaks at a single point. Tonight that fracture was coming. The evening began like any other. Mark suggested dinner with friends at a local bistro, the kind of place where everyone in Maplewood went to see and be seen. Sophie agreed immediately. On the drive there, she played the part, laughing at his stories, complimenting his tie, even reaching for his hand like she used to. But inside, her heart hammered. Because tonight, she wasn't just going to act. Tonight, she would make her first real move. At the bistro, their friends gathered around a long wooden table. Wine glasses clinked, laughter filled the air, and Mark thrived in the spotlight. He told jokes, shared stories of his latest work project, and accepted every compliment with the ease of a man who believed he was untouchable. Sophie watched him carefully, every smile on his face twisting like a knife in her gut. She saw the way he leaned back with confidence, the way he charmed even the waiter, the way his lies rolled off his tongue so effortlessly. And then, Sophie struck. "Mark," she said softly, almost shyly, when the conversation lulled. "Why don't you tell everyone about that new project you've been working on so late?" Mark glanced at her, his smile flickering. He hadn't told their friends about the late nights at work. Sophie knew he hadn't. He cleared his throat. "Well, it's nothing exciting yet." But Sophie leaned in, her voice honeyed. "Oh, come on, you've been gone until midnight. Must be something special." Their friends perked up, curious. "Midnight? Mark, you never stop, do you?" Mark laughed nervously. "Yeah, just deadlines." Sophie sipped her wine, her eyes never leaving his face. "Deadlines," she repeated, her voice sweet, but her gaze burned. The seed was planted. She didn't need to say more. Already she saw the doubt flicker in their friends' eyes. Already Mark shifted uncomfortably in his chair, tugging at his collar, hiding behind his glass. Sophie smiled. She wasn't exposing him outright. Not yet. But she was bending his mask, cracking it in front of the very people who once admired him. Later that night, as they drove home in silence, Mark finally spoke. "Why did you bring that up?" His voice was sharp, defensive. Sophie turned her head toward him, her expression calm. "Bring what up?" "You know what I mean. About me working late." "Oh." Sophie looked out the window, her tone innocent. "I just thought it was something worth sharing. You're working so hard. Our friends should know how dedicated you are." Mark clenched the wheel tighter, his jaw set. He didn't argue, but Sophie saw the unease written all over him. For the first time, he was realizing she might not be as blind as he thought. That night, Sophie lay awake while Mark slept beside her. She stared at the ceiling, her mind replaying every detail of the evening. His nervous laugh, the sideways glances from their friends, the silence in the car. She had cracked him, just a little. Just enough to remind herself that she held the power now. And yet tears streamed down her face as she thought of the man she had once loved. The man who used to hold her hand at dinner not out of performance, but out of genuine devotion. The man who used to whisper promises into her ear late at night, promises that now rang hollow. Grief and rage twisted together inside her like storm clouds colliding. She wanted to scream, to sob, to ask why. But instead, she swallowed the pain. Because pain was fuel, and fuel meant fire. The next morning, Mark left early for work. Sophie watched him go, her lips curving into the faintest of smiles. She no longer feared his lies. She no longer doubted herself. For the first time, Mark was the one unsettled. And this was only the beginning. If episode 5 left you with chills, don't forget to like this video, Share it with someone who loves suspenseful stories, and tell me in the comments, what do you think Sophie should do next? Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss episode 6, where the lies grow deeper and Sophie's revenge takes a darker turn.